Hello, it's been quite a while. I hope all of you are perfectly okay and staying safe. Please do take care. So, this episode we're going to see about estimation. This is a very important topic, and many a times we tend to not concentrate a lot on that, but it is a very important topic for children across all ages, as I keep saying. So, what is estimation all about? And you can practice it at home in your day to day kind of activities at the breakfast table, maybe when you're playing outside, in the garden, etc. Let me say, suppose I have a jar. You can take up any transparent jar and fill it with whatever you have inside. For example, you can fill a few rajma beans, you can fill a few of the soya bean, different types of beans or beans of different colors, or you could fill it up with various fryams of different colors or shapes, etc. So I have filled it up with some particular pegs that I had got. So now you could ask the child. Now this again is an activity which you can do it across the grades. So you could ask the child who is maybe in the junior KG, senior KG, grade 1, grade 2, how many pegs do you think are there in this? So the child would actually, start touching, feeling, counting and say 1, 2, 3, 4. That's okay. Absolutely no problem at all. Let the child get familiar that a particular peg occupies this amount of space. So maybe if it is occupying so much of the space in the jar, maybe there are so many pegs. That's absolutely okay, because each child starts assimilating the concept of estimation in a very different way. So give them the time and let them see it, and then bend down, go around, turn it around, upside down, etc. And then let them find out, and they could say some answer like maybe there are 50, there are 13, there are 25, whatever may be the number. So then ask the child to open the jar and start counting the pegs. Let them take it out and let them also get the kind of mental picture saying that this is almost about a little more than half the jar, and I can see that the jar is slightly curved. Okay, when I count it out, so actually there are about 24 pegs inside this. This could be one activity you can give the children, and immediately after they've said it is say 24 or 25, after they've counted, you can ask the child to write the number name for that particular number. Like for example, if it is 25, the children will write 25, TWENTYFIVE. You could ask what is the number which comes before that, what is the number which comes after that. So you can have a lot of mathematical questions which are framed around that. You can ask how many tens are there in 25. So depending on the age, you could ask these kind of questions. Another thing is, suppose I say I'm closing my eyes and I'm just going to open and pick out a particular peg. What color do you think it is? Now that would be a question. They would say, that could be anything. It could be either be pink, purple. So then they will go on to see what are the different colors are there. It could be either pink, purple, orange, yellow, or maybe there is a green also. Okay, maybe there is a green and whatever be the colors. Then you say, okay, yes, it could be anything. Now from this, could you tell me, are there any pegs which are of the same quantity? For example, you could have some pegs which are, say, maybe there are 4 yellow pegs and similarly there are 4 orange pegs. So like that, do you think there are anything of this? So a lot of observing skills are needed for this. An observation skill is needed. So the children go on to say, yes, I can see 2 red. I can see more of pink. Okay, yes, I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 pink. Any other color? I can see orange. Yes, a lot of orange. So then they would go and say, oh, there are only 4 oranges. So that means pink is more in number. What about the red? Yes, I think I can see. Oh, yes, there are 4 reds maybe. So I have maybe 4 orange, and then I have 4. I think I have 4 of those which are purple in color also. And I think I have 4 of those which are, turn it around and say, okay, yes, the blue is there. The blue is 5 in number. I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the blue is 5, and I think the pink is also 5. So I think you have got 5 pink and 5 blue. So perfect. And then ask them to verify. Open it and say, yes, or do they have. So this way you can teach bar graph also. So you can write on a sheet of paper, pink, blue, etc. And the children can go on to say, yes, I had 5 pink, for example. Pink, how many pink are there? You could ask the child to write the number, or for those who know tally marks, they could even mark it as I finished 1 pink, 2 pinks, 3, 4 and a 5. So depending on the age, they could go on to do that. Now pink was one particular color. What is it? What about blue? Okay, did I have 4 or did I have 5? What about red? What about green? And then they could go on to write the different colors that they have, and first of all estimate how many were there, and then later on say, yes, I'm perfectly right. So one column could be my estimation, the other column could be verification, the actual counting. So this way the children will get closer to saying that, okay, yes, my estimation was way out of reach. I think I need to understand that this, I have to be a little more observing. So the children go on to say, okay, next time, why don't you shake and give it to me next time? So instead of this, you could do with something else that you have at home. As I told you, it could be different shapes. It could be what you have as dal in your home, or it could be pieces of paper also, which you can tear it and then, roll it into a ball, the different origami kind of paper, which is of different colors, and then put it, or make the child color it and then crumple that particular paper and put it so it becomes, a red ball, an orange ball, etc. And they have fun doing it. The estimation is a very important topic. So it is all about how many. So we said how many are there, how many of them are pink, how many of them are red, etc. It need not always have to be how many, but I'm giving you more examples. Another example you could do is, for example, they've got crayons. And see, in this particular bowl, I have got 8 crayons. And then say, I'm going to show you another one which I have filled up with some crayons. How many crayons do you think are there in this bowl? So this has got 8 crayons. How many do you think this has got? So the children will go on to say that, okay, this, how many times of this do you think is the crayon in this? Okay, I think this has got so many crayons, this looks so big. This bowl is bigger and it's got a lot of depth. And I think maybe if there are 8 in this, maybe there would be double the quantity in this. So those of them who know the multiplication will say they'll say double the quantity. Those of them who know their addition will say, okay, this is 8 and this looks like maybe 8 more are there, for example. So it could go on to say, okay, I think there are 16. So that's a very good way of understanding, estimating, and saying an approximation of saying that, okay, this is got 8 and this has got something, I think an 8 plus an 8 or an 8 multiplied by 2 or 2 groups of 8 or 2 multiplied by 8, and then they say it's 860. Again, let them verify and you will actually see there are almost about 17, which was a very close number that they've come to as 60. So you can have comparison saying that you've got so many in this bowl or in this cup, and how many do you think are there in this? So it's always nice to use transparent glass or plastic containers because it helps the children to actually visually see. Estimation is a lot about visualization, understanding, seeing how much of space is occupied by each of those items that you put inside that cup or bowl, whatever it may be. Now another important thing on estimation is, you could ask children to say do an activity. For example, bounce the ball or throw it up and catch it and say, how many times do you think you're going to catch this particular ball? Or how many times do you think you can bounce this ball in 1 minute? In 1 minute, how many times are you able to do it? And then they would say, I think I can do it 50 times. And then when they start doing, they actually understand that they're not able to do it 50 times, but they're actually able to do it only say about 30 times or something. So then they get an understanding of time. They get an understanding. So many times when you say how much time do you need to complete this task, they'll say I just need 5 minutes. But in 5 minutes they might not have even completed half the task. It could be a homework, it could be some work that you're asking the children to help out in your kitchen or in your home, etc. So then the children understand, okay, 5 minutes is only this amount of time. I think to complete this task I may need much more. So this also helps when they are going to do a chore at home, or when they're going to complete a homework, they'll be able to understand saying that I need to dedicate this amount of time to complete this task or this work or this homework. That is one way of saying. Another thing is you could say, how far do you think you will be able to go in 1 minute? Let's say, you're running and you're on a playground, and you can say, how far do you think you're going to be able to make it in 1 minute? So then the children start understanding the measurement. For example, measurement of length, saying that, oh yes, if I'm going to measure a certain thing, I know I use a ruler in centimeter and millimeter. But if I'm going to go on the playground and it's a long one and I know I can run fast, I need to measure in meters. meters. So the child will get an idea of what a meter is. Maybe centimeter, they are familiar with a ruler. Okay, yes, this is so many centimeters long. My geometry box is so many centimeters long. My satin ribbon is so many centimeters long. But then when they get on to the playground, they know that, okay, yes, from here, I think in 1 minute I'll be able to travel that many kind of meters. For example, if you're a sprinter and if you're running and things like that. So how much is a meter is something that they'll be able to gauge. Or they could say, I think I'll be able to cover only 1/4 of a meter. For those of them who know their fractions, for those of them who know their metric conversions, they can say that way. So how far do you think you will go? Similarly, volume. Volume is another important thing. So you could ask them, you could give them some bottles, maybe something like this itself, and say, okay, this I'm going to fill it up and I'm going to transfer this into a bowl. How much of the bowl do you think? Will this be more or will this be more? So let them start filling and then understanding the volume is actually the capacity that a particular object, or rather whatever you take in terms of a bottle or in terms of a jug, how much it can hold is actually what is called as capacity or volume. So again, they can say that how much do you think you will, how much of water do you think will this hold? So they could say, they could take a bottle which has got a 500 milliliter bottle and pour that and say, oh yes, I'm not able to fill the entire 500 milliliter. It was only about half of it I was able to fill. That means half of 500 milliliter is 250 milliliter. Again, they understand the metric unit of volume. So allow them to experiment, allow them to estimate, allow them to predict, and then let them verify it also. So the moment they predict and then they verify, then that particular quantity or that particular estimation or that particular metric unit stays very close to their minds and they will never forget it. So try this out. Estimation is a very interesting thing. You could do it with various things like your crayons which you have at home. You could do it with pegs which you have at home. You could do it with some unit cubes that you have at home. You could do it with your Lego block that you have at home. You could do it with your Rajma that you have at home. You could do it with fryams that you have at home. You could do it with pastas that you have at home. You could do it with macaroni. You could do it with anything that you have at home. You could even color them. You could even take the pistachio shells out and then color them into different colors and put them all inside and say, how many do you think are there in this particular jar? And have fun. The more you explore into your kitchen, you will get more ideas on what are the items that you can actually use. So make sure that you have fun and do write your comments in the box below saying whether you enjoyed it and do you feel estimation is something which is important, and are these activities helping you understand estimation better. So take care and stay safe, all of you.